All right, everyone, welcome today to Deltek Vantagepoint Resource Management. For those of you who may not have sat in a webinar with us before, or you don't have a great awareness of what or who Rhodium Digital is, I'll briefly shine some light on that before we get started with Mike's presentation. So Rhodium Digital is a technology advisory practice built to empower businesses with contemporary tools and processes. The goal is to help create streamlined, future resilient organizations who achieve a great return on their investment towards their systems and the processes supporting those systems. We've been fortunate enough to partner with a range of well-recognized ERP vendors, Deltek included. Our team's excited that Vantagepoint has reached maturity, leading to the opportunity to support so many growing A&E and similar project-based consultancies running Vision and Vantagepoint. Our team has supported hundreds of Deltek clients with services ranging from initial ERP implementations through to ongoing support and everything in between. If you have questions surrounding your ERP, don't hesitate to reach out to us, as there's a very good chance we'll support other clients through similar situations. Now, let's jump right in for what we're here to discuss, resource management and Vantagepoint. All right, Mike, off to you.
Thank you, Natasha, and welcome everybody to our second part of the resource management / planning sessions. We did an initial one on planning in general. Today, we're more focusing on the resource management piece of the equation. This is the add-on to the planning solution in Vantagepoint, whereas planning is part of the basic tools. So what we do today is, again, it builds off our previous planning features with and without resource management. Today, I'm more on a hands-on tour where we actually deep dive into the application and I show you a couple of ways of utilize the resource management features that are built into Vantagepoint. So after these couple slides, we dive right into the application itself. I show you how we set up details for employees with skills and whatnot. That makes it easier for you to assign resources and filter resources. Then I show you the resource view and how to filter, view, reschedule, and reassign in there. On the project view, which is the flip side of the coin, where we looked at it from a project perspective. And then there is also the additional reporting view, where you could set up your own management view. It is a read-only view, so it's more geared towards people that want to view the resources but don't have the rights to modify them. So let's just jump right in here. So I stop the presentation and we'll go right into the application. So as you see here, we're right in the resource view, and I will dive into this a bit later. But if you want to take advantage of resource management in detail, you first of all have to take care of your employee information. So for you to take full advantage of this, it is actually quite important for you to fill out additional information on your employee screen to then use that additional information for planning purposes. So if I just, for instance, what I do today is I show you how to reassign these sorry, can't talk and type clearly. So how to look for specific resources. And I show you this with us looking for Revit resources. So I have some draftsmen and I have some generic resources, and I want to find someone that is able to do some Revit work. For that to work, we have to tell the system in advance on what my skills are for each and every employee. As you see here, I have these skills and credentials tabs that I can then reuse in resource planning. So in this case, I already have somebody where I set up my skills, where I tell them, yes, I do have, this person does have Revit skills. It's a beginner and it's an entry-level item. If I look at somebody else, for instance, I see the same information here. Revit, this person is an intermediate, and this person has 3 to 5 years of experience. But if I just pick somebody else, I just pick somebody here that doesn't have that. To add these kind of skills, I can simply click on here, pick the skill type I want. And again, you're in full control over this list. If we have time later, I can show you where to enter these kind of skill information. You can pick the level. Again, you're in full control over what these levels are. And same for the usage. So you can do this as well. Over 10 years, for instance. And then I save this. So once I do give this resource, the information, this employee information, I have then the ability to look for this resource in resource management when I need to replace a certain drafts skill with an actual employee. So let's see how we do that. So again, we go back into the resource view, and this is the major hub for a resource manager to apply certain or reschedule, reassign, and do their day-to-day work. So they come in here, by default, they see everybody, all the resource, all the active resources in one screen, color-coded with a schedule percentage, the utilization percentage, the utilization target of that person. And if you turn it on, you can also see the soft and hard booking status of each of these resources. You can drill down to a person's assignments by simply clicking on this arrow. It then opens up in a second, too many rows in here, my projects that one person is assigned to. And again, if it's a multi-level project, I can drill down to the lowest level that person has assignments. And I can always see what these assignments are, how many they are, and all that. And it's color coded. So red means that that person is overutilized. Blue means that the person in this time frame is underutilized. If we have a gray box, that means it's within the person's utilization target. And again, those ranges can be controlled via configuration. And if we have time and if somebody's interested, I can show you that where it is. But for now, let's just look at this and have these views. So what I can do here is then I can now filter my large list of employees to other purposes. So instead of showing all resources, I can come in here, just show my employees, just show my generic resources. Now we do that in a second, or just the employees I supervise, basically, and then resources in my organization. Or down here, I have my saved searches. Now, how do I do that? So I can simply go in here and set up my resource search and save that for later use. This comes in handy later. I show that with this Revit sample I have, where we say, okay, I'm specifically looking for Revit people. And at the moment, I don't really care what their skill level is. So I can say, show me all people that have a Revit skill, which shows me the 4 people I was just showing you within the employee record. I can now actually save this. That would be my Revit capable employees. But I can also go further and say, not only do I need Revit, I actually need somebody that is an intermediate. So I can, or actually, no, I actually need somebody that's an intermediate or a senior. I can set this, and again, search again. So it's now You see Emma, which was a beginner, is now no longer included. And I can save this as my experienced Revit employees. So this allows me to look at certain resources in any shape, way, or form. I also have the ability, if I wanted to, change the forecast range up here or up here. I can also do a couple things. I can group by my company, my discipline, the labor category they're in, or which office they're working in, like I do right now. I can sort the project by name or by number or by assignment start. I can show certain information in the column. So right now I have my schedule utilization target and my soft or hard booking, but I can also show my total ETC hours if I want to. So if I apply that, now we have here the office. 2 are in Denver, 1 is in corporate. If I scroll here, I see now the total ETC hours and my total hours here. So once I have this, I can in here either add new assignments. So instead of going back to the plan, I can simply come in here and basically just pick a project and just add some more hours to this. So if I say I want to do this 9/15/2021, 20 hours, and I hard book this because I need this person. I can add that on the fly in here without having to go anywhere else. And if I now drop down into the details, I see this coming up as hard booked in this time frame. So this is how a resource manager does his work. He doesn't have to go back to the projects or anywhere. He can come right in here, do everything he needs to. And what a resource manager will do most is mostly like this. So he comes into generic resources, goes, okay, where do I need work? So I have my drafts person here. I know these are generic resources that I need to assign to real people now that the work is coming up. So I have to come into here, go look for the resource level, for the resource type I'm looking for, have this here. And now I can actually do a reassign because those 55 hours, I need to apply that to someone to do the actual work. The one drawback in Vantagepoint in comparison to Vision is that I no longer have the skill level search right into here. But there is this workaround. Remember when I did save those Revit people in the special search? Now that search is actually available to me down here. So I suggest that with you doing these kind of works, you set up your own little searches that you need for this or that purpose. And now I can actually say, yeah, I know this is a draftsperson's job. I need some Revit experience. I need the experienced ones. So I pick that, see their scheduled percentage here and say, well, yeah, I know there this Grace actually has a little bit of capacity. I can reassign all of it or a portion of it to Grace when I can do 50 hours to Grace and reassign this. And now my hours have been moved from here over to Grace when I go and pick my Revit team again. I have Grace here with the newly assigned work coming through here. I think it was this one. So this is how, as a resource manager, I will work through these levels, always with the view into where am I, where are my resources, what can I do with them? And this should be honestly something you should do on almost a weekly basis. We suggest that you have a resource manager meeting where you discuss the upcoming work, who gets what, check what's overutilized, what's underutilized, etc., etc., etc. So, but I can also do a couple things here. So if I have all my employees here and I remove the grouping again, just because it's a bit, I'll apply that. I can pick certain employees, add them to a selected pin because I know these are overutilized. I can pick this one here, add them to the assignments, add them to the pins. And then I can click on here and have only the people I just picked and can manage them right for that selection. Instead of doing the search here, I can pick and choose them and come in here. Okay, so that's that. And now I can look at it as a resource manager. I can look at it from a different perspective, where I go into the project view and have the same view, but now from a different perspective. Remember that in Vantagepoint, in the project, you only see the one plan for the one project. Here, I can actually have this one project view here. I can again pick the items I want to see, and then I can do the same thing as I did in the resource view, and reassign, reschedule right in here without having to go back to the project itself. So if I'm more comfortable working on a project view, if I'm the project manager instead of the resource manager, I come in here and reassign or reschedule things right in here. So it's the same functionality, just 2 viewpoints. And then if you're more interested in having a look at it instead of making any changes, so if you're the PM for a couple projects, or if you're just the employee working on certain projects, you usually don't have access to the resource view and project view, because there you can change data. You might have access to reporting. And here in reporting, you have the same capabilities as you have in resource view and project management, but you have the ability to show data. So you can actually say, I want to show projects where project manager is me. I don't know if I have any in here, but I'll just go all active. So here, this is the only view where I can show multiple projects in one screen. So this view allows me to show the data, pick columns, because I said all active projects, pick columns, so I can show certain range of planned hours, all that stuff. I can come in here, resort them, group them if I want to, or even filter. So I can actually say, no, not export, sorry, filter here. I can say that here, I can filter by resource name or my resource ID. I can say, give me only EAC hours that's more than 5,000. So it filters it down to those values. Again, I can pop that open and see the details for this. I have all the abilities. I can switch my view from projects to resources and have just the employees I supervise. So that's perfect for a project or a group manager to see where the people work at. So this is grouped by, for instance, this is grouped by company. So I can have a company view. This is all Cohen Associates. I can drill down into the project they're assigned to. I have the same ability to filter by actuals, planned, schedule. So for instance, if I want to go for planned hours, and I just want to see where we have more than 50 hours in this time slot, it filters this. So it should filter this to 50. Oh, just a plan view. Okay. Or here, I would just want to have anything with total hours over 1,000, for instance, and it filters it down. And then once, if that is fine for me, I can then also save this as a CSV file here and open it in Excel and reuse this for whatever purpose I have with this. So this is how to use the resource management in a quick fashion. So those are your three major views into resource management: the resource view, the project view, and reporting. That is what I wanted to show you in this quick tour through the application. And I know you might have some questions, so I'm going to open this to questions so I can actually answer questions and show you details if you want to see anything in the application. So Natasha, I don't know if you have any questions at this point. I would invite people to ask them right now.
All right, great. So we've got one to start off with, and it says, I have the resource planning module in Vision. Does this mean I get access to Vantagepoint Resource Management?
Yes, you do. So while planning now is applied to everybody, the resource management license applies to this specific item. So the resource view, project view, reporting, including hard and soft booked items, and the Gantt chart in planning. That's what you get with that extra module.
Right. Another question is, should we implement resource management in Vision before making our transition to Vantagepoint?
No, if you don't use planning or resource management yet in Vision, I suggest you start using it in Vantagepoint because it's a lot easier to use there than it is in Vision. So you do yourself a favor if you wait that couple weeks or months to turn that feature on.
Okay. Another question, is there a way to ensure our plans in Vision move to Vantagepoint?
So if you already have plans in Vision, there is actually a document from Deltek that tells you what to do to make sure that the values come over correctly. It has mostly to do to make sure that your plan only covers one project and not multiple projects, and that those plans are actually viewed in iAccess instead of the planning tool. But then once you go through all those little items, the plan data comes over. But we're more than happy to help you with that if you have any questions in detail on that.
So a question about Gantt charts. Are Gantt charts available?
They are if you have the resource management license.
Okay, but not without it. Great.
Not without it, no.
Okay, I don't have any other questions pending, so I'll give it a couple more seconds there if anybody's got any last minute questions they want to ask Mike. If not, I will close up the webinar. So we'll just see if any last minute questions come in to address.
So we have 5 minutes if you wanted to know anything about resource management and we're afraid to ask at this point.
Yeah, this is your chance. All right, I don't see our question box going off. So I guess there's no questions. Any more questions, Mike? You're off the hook.
I'm off the hook. That's perfect.
Off the hook.
Then
Perfect.
I'll turn on the presentation again. And whoops. I think we have some final notes in here. So we went through this. Okay, some closing thoughts here. Again, this provides a quick insight on the overall utilization of your staff. Quickly spot over and underutilization by color coding, immediately react to reschedule and reassign hours, and especially helpful if you work with generic resources in your plans. So that's the idea there. You can filter for that. But again, if you want to make best use of Vantagepoint Resource Management, everything must have a plan, including your sick time, your vacation time, etc., etc. Okay. That is it, I think, and I thank you for your attending our webinar, and I hope you got something out of it. And it wasn't too fast. If I was too fast, feel free to ask me questions via email or review our video that Natasha will put on our server shortly.
Yeah, I'll also send out the link to everyone here. So thanks very much, everyone. As Mike said, if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thanks for joining this webinar.